Alright, welcome to Big O Blog. Tonight is Friday night and my kids are over here with me. So I decided to cook them a healthy and unhealthy meal at the same time. The healthy is here and the unhealthy is there. Cooking some fried chicken at the same time, but it's not really unhealthy, but I'm not eating no fried chicken, but it's okay for them. They're young, their body could take it, not me, right? I might eat one piece or so, just one piece. But my focus here is on this meal here. Everybody know the fried chicken, so I don't need to talk about frying chicken, because everybody can fry chicken. All you have to fry chicken. So. But this is different. So this what I have here, it's I'm gonna make a fish tea, or a fish broth, or fish soup, whatever you want to call it. It's a Caribbean dish, but the ingredients I found here, so anybody can make this dish no matter where you are. It's supposed to be it's a very healthy dish. I never tested this before, so I assuming it's healthy for my blood sugar. I don't know. So here I have some red snapper, seasoned already, cut up, washed with lime and stuff, and seasoned with homemade seasoning and salt and black pepper. And here I have some garlic and onions and chive, and cut up. That's going to be the starting base point. Here I have some cabbage, some California cabbage. This is going to be used after, by choice, optional. Some celery sticks. I have some carrots cut up. Some green banana. This going in the pot there. Some okras. I'm not going to use all this okra, but some okras. Some pumpkin. And I already cooked this potato. This is optional. So since these kind of starchy, I don't want the starch in the broth. So you can put it on your own after. So it's not going to go in while cooking. It's cooked already, and you can just add as you need. But this others going in the broth. Okay. So, and I have some of my homemade crushed seasoning here with different types of herbs, mostly herbs. As you know, I cook only with herbs and salt and black pepper. That's it. I don't use anything else. So I'm not gonna really stay cooking the whole thing, but I'm gonna give you an idea how I'm gonna start this up and how it's gonna work. So I have a pot already with some oil already heating. So I'm gonna throw the base in the pot and get the base rolling out. So this really is a broth, is a soup, sort of a I don't want to get too thick, so I want to put any starchy stuff in here that's going to thicken the water. So I'm going to let this base cook down a little bit, raise the stove a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to put all of this in here. What am I saving it for? It's nothing but herbs. It's going to be very good. So I'm going to raise the stove a little bit, get the heat. Cook this down a little bit. And so I'm also going to take the head for the fish and I'm going to put it in there now too. I'm going to cook that here for a couple of minutes and I'm going to add other ingredients in this. Now I put this fish head here. The fish is cooked very fast, so the fish is going to go in last, the rest of the fish, but this is the head. I'm going to let it cook here so flavor, to get early flavor in the food. So the fish head is well seasoned. Okay. Here you can see I'm boiling some yams. I'm steaming some yams. So this here is going to go in after. This is going to be used as optional. This is done. I'll turn it off. Okay. That's optional. So this starchy stuff, so you're not going to go in the pot. So this is going to take a little time. A few minutes for this to 2 or 3 minutes for this to get going and really start cooking, and then I will add the rest of the stuff. So let me let it stay for a couple minutes, and then go add the stuff. Alright, so this pot been here for about 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. I think I can add my other stuff now. So I'm going to add some of my pumpkin. Yeah. People do this differently, but this is how I do it. My pumpkin in here. I don't have to use all this pumpkin, a lot of pumpkin. I'm going to use all the pumpkin. I put my carrots in here. Put all the carrots in here. The fish head already started cooking, and that's generating flavor in here. So we're going to add the water to this base. Be nice. Then I'm gonna put the green banana in here. So I put them here, let them get a little flavor together. I'm not gonna put the okras. I'm not gonna put the okras right now because they cook. I don't want to get too slimy. They cook really, really fast. So I don't want to get them put them too early. So I'm putting them kind of late. And that's it. And then the fish to go. So this is gonna let this cook around for a few minutes. And then I'm going to add the water and so on. So just leave that for a couple minutes to get it rolling. I come back and add my water and stuff. Alright, so just been there a couple minutes also. Now is a good time to check it out and get to add more water now. So this is going good. And I'm going to add my water. I usually hot the water in a kettle because I don't want to cool the pot down with cold water. So I hot the water, so when I put water in here, it's hot. So I'm not cooling the pot down. See? So it starts boiling right away. Right. So this is oh, I made a mess right here. This is a soup, a fish tea. So this is going to boil. I'm going to add some more water, and this is going to boil. And it's a very fast cooking dish. Put a tip of salt, because the fish have salt already. I'll check it again later. So I'll put a little black pepper, and that's it, you know. But I don't want to put too much salt now because I season the fish with salt. So I'm going to put the fish in here first, and then test it to see if it gets salt enough. I'm not putting anything in here like no dumplings and no flour, nothing starchy I'm putting in here because I like this to be not starchy water. I want the water to be just clean, flowing water, no starchiness. So I'm going to boil some more water. So if I need to add more water there, I'm going to boil some more so that when I do add water, I'm adding hot water to my food, not cold water. I like that. And then once it's boiled and cooked really good, before it's done, I'm going to put the okras and the fish. And that's it. And it's done. It's that easy. So I'm going to leave this a couple minutes to let it start boiling, and then we'll finish up this. Alright, so this has been going a few minutes now. Boiling nice. How enough liquid? It's like a tea. It's a lot of liquid in here because the idea is to drink this. Right? So now I'm going to put some okras in here. I'm going to put some okras in here. Not too much. A few of them. Yeah. And let it cook for about a minute or two. This is going to be very nutritious, you see? With the pumpkin, the green banana, and the fish, and all the herbs. And like I said, there is no other powder seasoning or anything in here. Just a little salt of black pepper. I'm going to let this cook here for about 2 minutes. And then I'll put the fish. And it'll take about 3 minutes after the fish to be done. So I can eat. Okay, so this has been there for 5 minutes. So now I think it's time to put in my thing. I'm going to put a piece of butter in there. Just butter in there. Put that way. And I'm going to start putting in my fish. Now I put the butter, I'm going to put my fish in here. Just going to rest the fish in the water there. Not fool with it too much. So you're going to drink that liquid and eat your fish. And eat a few of those piece of provision in there, piece of food in there, of course and stuff. And you're good. That's it. And this is the end of it right here. I'm not going to move it too much. Just let that cook. And I don't want to touch the fish too much. Just leave that there, let it cook a little bit. The fish fish cook in about 2 or 3 minutes. So I'll cover that back up and let it boil up. And the fish is done. And when this is, go back here, it's time to eat. Okay? Should be good. I didn't put no more salt because the fish is salty. Before I take it out of the pot, I'll check it to make sure it has the good flavor I want, salt flavor I want. So they add more, but I want to be careful not to add too much. And that's it. That's how I made my fish broth, or fish tea, or fish soup. And like I said, when you're eating this, you can add this to it, add some of these stuff to it, this here. Or even the yam I have here. You can add this to it also. So now we start with this. Alright? So in a little while we'll go and have some, I'll take my blood sugar, you'll eat, and I'll see how it's working out for me, okay? Nice. Alright, so this is the finished product here in the pot. Now time to, I'll have to wait to test this because my blood sugar is kind of high right now from eating other stuff all evening while cooking. But looking good and everybody eat tonight. Beautiful. Look at that. Fish tea, fish broth, fish soup, whatever you want to call it. I prefer fish broth. Yes. So I finished cooking over here. I did chicken. Chicken come out nice. Look at that. Chicken come out nice. I'm gonna put some of that cabbage in my broth. And then I'm gonna put a couple pieces of Parmesan when I'm eating it. See? That's it. Nice, nice stuff. Yeah. Chicken is for the kids, you know? Yeah, man. All right. Time to try out my fish broth, or fish soup, or fish tea. I'm gonna stay with one name, fish broth. Okay, that's what I'm used to. Fish broth. Fish broth. Okay? Anyway, I cooked this last night, but my kids were here, and we had nice little family time last night, Friday night, and we had so much stuff to eat. I checked my blood. It wasn't enough to test. You know, it was a little too high to test this food because I ate so much other things during the night while I was cooking, snacking and stuff, that it wouldn't make sense testing the food. I couldn't tell you how the food impacted me. So one other thing you'll learn from that is, before you test your meal, make sure you're ready. Make sure you're fasting and that your blood sugar is down to where it should be, or you call it on your lower points. You know? And for me, it's between 80 and 100. If I'm at that level, then it makes sense to test a food to see how I'll be after an hour and a half. But last night I was about 129, 130 because I was eating other stuff. So that wouldn't make too much sense trying to calculate that. I might have most likely be over my 140. So today I've been prepared for this. I had a breakfast and I was fasting for the last 5 hours. So my blood sugar should be down. Let me get my machine here. Actually, I tested it. That should be down. I know it's down. I actually tested the thing already. And my blood sugar is starting off here at 101. Right? So I'm at 101. Sometimes I get a hard time focusing this thing here. Right? So I'm down on one of my base level measurements. So it's a good time to test the food now. So now I can actually tell if I eat a soup, how it impacts me. And I haven't tested soup, this fish broth before. So I keep calling it all kinds of different names. Forgive me. It is fish broth, okay? When you cater into a multiple audience, you're trying to use names and words that different type of people can understand what you're saying, you know? And I'm hoping I'm reaching lots of different people of different culture and so on. But in Trinidad, it's a fish broth. And this fish broth, I have red snapper, and you saw me cook that. And I have carrots, I have green bananas in here, I have okras in here, and then lots of herbs in here. So this is really nutritious. And you drink this, still use a soup spoon, and you drink this as a soup. I also have some California cabbage, some Asian yam, and Asian sweet potato that I can add to this. But I cook that separately when I was cooking because you don't have to put that in a soup because so the soup is like this, if you put the potatoes and stuff in here, it would have been real thick like a regular soup. I didn't want a soup. I want to be a broth. A broth. So I will try a piece of that as I eat, and I'll put a couple pieces of cabbage in here. Basically, what you do is you use this California cabbage is pretty good because the way it thing, and you just drop a few pieces in your food, you know. So you're basically adding nutrients to what you already have here, because my goal is to eat a very nutritious meal that keeps my blood sugar down, and also I can fast for the rest of the day because I don't plan to eat another meal for this day. It's my second meal for the day, and that's what I eat for, that's what I'm going to have for today, because I had enough. I had a lot of eating last night, right? So this, I'm going to eat this now and check my blood sugar in an hour and a half and see how this food work out for my blood sugar go. As far as nutrition go, I know it's very nutritious. I know it's very healthy, and I know I have enough fiber and enough omega-3 and different things in here. So I'm not worried about that. The only thing I don't know is how it affects my blood sugar. So that's my main focus. If you watch my other videos, you will know that my target is 140 and not 180 as normal. And above 180 is terrible. So under 180 for good for diabetics, and normal people is under 140, and my goal is under 140. All right. So let me enjoy this meal here. And I had some of it last night, but today I'm having really a full amount of it. The full thing, you know, the full thing. So I'll, let me take a sip and you will see. This is perfect. Just the right amount of salt, the flavor from the fish, the okras. This is fantastic. You should try this. You should definitely try this. It is beautiful. And the soup is, the liquid part of it is just nice and very flavorful. This is really, really, really good. And the red snapper have bones, you know, so have too much of a lot of bones, so you have to be careful with the bones. I would rather use kingfish, but fish called kingfish, or fish without bone, but I couldn't get any. You know, where I live here, it's hard to get fish. So I get the red snapper and it will do, but you have to look for bone in eating red snapper. So this is beautiful. This is like, really, really, really good. And the cabbage, you put a little cabbage there. Nice crunch from the cabbage. Perfect. Add some of that in there. Oh, it's good. And maybe I'll take a piece of the yam. These yams are kind of sweet, so I'll be careful with them. They're very sweet, but they have a lot of fiber. So when it's sweet with fiber, usually not too bad, you know. But a piece of yam, and man, this is good stuff. Yeah. Well, you know, talking and eating is not always the best thing. It leads to choking and biting of lips and so on, biting of tongue. And so because of that, I'm going to take a break, enjoy this, and come back and let you know how it worked out, okay? See you in a minute. All right. Thanks for hanging out to get the results of my my test. This is a little bit of mystery to me right now, okay? I had to work out this mystery here. So, an hour and a half after I test my blood sugar, and it was 196, which is a total failure. And I'm like, what went wrong? Because that food, I can't think of what, and this is the first time testing that food. I can't think of what in there that caused my blood sugar to rise so high. Now, I had 2 cups of coffee during the last hour and a half while I was waiting to do this test. And usually I don't drink coffee, but during that time, but sometimes I do. It doesn't have any effect on me. So I drank it because I didn't think it was going to have any effect. But something have an effect. And I don't know what it is. Either the 2 cups of coffee or the sweet yam I added to the soup. Or just maybe the combination of the pumpkin, the carrots together, with that fish, because pumpkin does have the carbs, and the carrot is very sweet when it's cooked, you know? So it looked like a really good, healthy meal, but maybe it's not. You see? So I don't know if adding the coffee with that broth created a problem, or the sweet potato, because the sweet potato has sugar, the carrots become sweet when you cook them. Then I add pumpkin in there. The only two things in there I know that should not cause any problem based on my previous testing is the okras and the fish, right? But the other things are possible. So I don't know. So what I'm gonna do is I have one more bowl of that soup, of that fish, of that broth. One bowl. I made two extra. I had 2 extra bowls I put aside for testing, and I have one more. So when I get a chance again, next about 5 to 8 hours, but I will eat another bowl of that soup. Maybe tomorrow morning, and test it again. But I wouldn't eat the sweet potato, and I wouldn't drink any coffee. And see if that soup, I keep saying soup, but fish broth, if that fish broth is just a little too much with the carrot and pumpkin. Because you don't have to put those things in your fish broth. You could cook the fish broth with okras and green bananas only, right? Or things you don't have to put the things, the carbohydrates in there. So when I eat this last bowl of soup of broth, I will get a better perspective as to whether a bowl of fish broth is good for me or not. And if it's bad again, I know I can't put carrots and pumpkins in my food, in that food. Or the sweet potato. I should make the broth with the fish and put things that are non-carb in there. And don't drink any coffee. Because this was very mysterious to me. But this is the purpose of my videos. To find the combination of food I eat and how they impact my blood sugar. And I have been having a lot of surprises. So this was a surprise, but it's a very interesting surprise. So I have to eliminate some things and try one more time. It's a good thing I have another bowl of food I can actually use. I don't have to cook this food again, right? I cooked it last night, I could eat tomorrow, it'll be fine, right? So I have another bowl. But this, I'm telling you, and this is exactly what I'm trying to find out. I'm not trying to eat and give you good results all the time. This is what I want to happen during my test. So then I could negotiate through it and work and try to figure it out and then show how I could adjust the balance and the combinations and bring it down. See? So this was a really surprise one. And I'm very happy with this in the sense that 196, I'm above what I should be. And my machine is going to tell me, hey, are you okay? Which it normally do. But I feel okay. But very interesting. Very interesting. So what I'm going to do, before closing out this recording, I'm going to go back and wait a little while. Then I'm going to have another meal of that food, the last bowl of that soup broth, and test it again with the elimination of things like the coffee and the sweet potato, and see if the carrots and the pumpkin are there alone, it's still good. If it's still high, I know the broth should not be cooked with those things in it. I know I could eat the broth. I know I could eat the fish because I eat fish. I test fish all the time, right? So this is a very interesting one. No conclusion on this first round, just that it's still confusing, but I'll try to conclude this, okay? So stay tuned for the conclusion of this, all right? Blessings. All right, so I decided to have one more plate of this fish broth. It's the last one, actually. I wasn't sure what happened with my last meal, where I had 2 cups of coffee just before I tested my final test. So that was really high. And one of the reasons I am retesting this is because I like fish broth. It's something I grew up on, and I think it's healthy. I love eating it. I want to make sure that it's something I could continue to eat or need to reject it. Like, don't eat it this way anymore. Just maybe eat the fish alone with some water in it, but not all the other ingredients like the pumpkin and the carrots and so on. So because I wasn't sure and I had the coffee, I felt like the coffee might have distorted the meal. So to kind of make sure my combination is right, I'm going to eat this again, but no coffee. For the next hour and a half, no coffee. I'm going to eat the same. I'm going to still put the cabbage in it. Put some cabbage in here. Use my hands. Take some cabbage. I will still eat couple pieces of the sweet potato that I use out extra. So I want to do the exact same thing and make sure that if this meal is a high spiking meal, that I'm clear that it is a high spiking meal. And maybe in that case, if I eat it, my portion can be this big, you know? So, and this is the purpose of my videos, is to constantly test combination of foods till I find the right combination. Because as you know, I found in many cases, I could eat two things on separate occasion and they don't bother me. But if I eat both things at the same time, even though the both of them are good, somehow they interact and create major spike. So I'm wondering if drinking the coffee with this liquid broth created that high spike that after 140 I was at 190 something, you know? So with that in mind, I want to eliminate that and verify the validity of this food itself. So no coffee this morning. All right, I'm going to show you. I just tested my blood sugar, and hope you can see it this time because we have a hard time focusing on this. All right, so see it's 94, but if you see the high ones below, that was from yesterday testing of the same food because I hadn't eaten since I ate that food yesterday. I've been fasting since that. So I'm at 94 this morning, which is where I normally is in the morning after fasting. And that's a sign that I reversed my type 2 diabetes, because before that, I couldn't hit under 140 something, right? So now I'm consistently under 100 when I fast overnight. So my body is doing good. You know, my liver and my pancreas is working pretty good, sustaining my body pretty good during long fast. My main concern here is this food. Can I eat this broth when I travel or when I'm in the mood for it? Or do I have to make it an intermittent, like a once a month type of food? I can't eat too often again. So I need to identify that. So let's do this. I'm going to, I already tasted it yesterday. You see how good it is. And it's an excuse to eat some more, you know, because it is really good. But I'm very, very, very sincerely curious to know if it's bad. Okay? So I'm going to eat this food now and come back in an hour and a half and let you know. And I'll close out this video with the 2 meals and come to my analysis of this food, final analysis of this food. No more testing of this food. All right? So let me enjoy this food and I'll see you in a little bit to give you the results of it. Okay. Thanks for staying around to, you didn't have to stay around that long. You just, you know. But when you're doing the video, you tend to get in this mode, you know, like, hey, you know, thanks for hanging out, you know. But anyway, blessings for staying around on the video watching to get the results of my test. So as you can see here, I just checked my blood. I was 94 before I started and 134 after, right? So I hit my target with that. The exact same food, but I hit my target of under 140. The only difference with what I did this time and what I did the last meal was that I had 2 cups of coffee, one about 30 minutes after I had my meal, and one about an hour after. So just before I took my test, I had a cup of coffee and another cup of coffee about 30 minutes after I eat it. So what it tells me here is that for some reason, drinking that coffee, within the time frame I drink it, of the hour and a half waiting to test, I had a sudden spike. And I tested myself to make sure it was a real spike. I tested it twice, back to back. I got 190 and it was still spiking up. It went to 196. That's within my hour and a half time. So I know so I suspected it was the coffee. So taking the coffee out proved to me that the fish broth is good to eat. Right? With what I had in it, I had okras, a few carrots, some small piece of pumpkin, the fish, and the herbs, and the green banana. So testing without the coffee, without eating anything else, just that, hour and a half after, it was on target. So if I didn't do this test a second time, I could have condemned that meal and don't want to eat it no more. and it's a good healthy meal. But by recognizing that I combined it with something else that may have affected me, I could eliminate that other item and eat the meal, and it's good. That doesn't mean coffee is bad, because I tested coffee by itself before and it don't spike that much. I mean, you get a real small spike from coffee by itself. If I eat coffee with bread, with homemade almond bread, I don't spike that much either. So again, it's proving as I eat, certain combinations of things cause major spikes. And I've been doing this for 2 years now. And it's consistent that not because 2 or 3 things are good, I mean, you combine them without getting spikes. And then this was a good example of where that coffee, somehow, I don't know what it is, not scientific. I don't know what in the coffee. It might sound like, oh, that don't make no sense. But it don't have to make sense for me, because I can see the numbers. It does it to my body, so I know it. So that's most important to me. It don't have to make sense to me, how to affect me, for me to know, hey, don't do that again. You know? So now I know, if I make a fish broth, don't drink no coffee until your blood sugar goes back down. So now I have to have I like my cup of coffee a day. I drink 2 cups of coffee a day, most. And now I could wait until I could wait a little longer till my blood sugar came down to about 110, 105. I can have my coffee. You see? So it's not I'm trying to not drink coffee. It's I'm trying to understand, how do I balance my meal during the day so I don't get big spikes? And my blood sugar goes back to normal quickly, and then I can fast and let my body rest, let my organs rest, rejuvenate themselves, and do what it's supposed to do. See? So understanding these, every moment understanding these things helps me to live a better life and eat better. It's not condemning anything. And I can repeat myself, if I don't do this test, I will stop drinking the fish broth and lose out on a good nutritious meal. Or I may stop drinking the coffee. When I know the coffee doesn't spike me by itself or with certain things. But I know for a fact, I cannot drink that coffee when I'm drinking a broth or maybe something like soups and so on. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. I just know it happens, and I'm sharing with you. So for you, it may not happen, but it may be other things that cause that problem with you. And basically, you're trying to avoid these sudden spikes. And you want to eat to where your blood sugar drops back below 140 after an hour and a half or so, right? Under 180, under 140, most likely, I like. So that's the whole idea, is not to find anything wrong or right, or to eliminate anything. Is more to balance combinations and know how they affect you, so you know when you could eat them. That's it. So what I learned, my final analysis, I learned that if I drink a soup or a broth like that, I'm not going to drink coffee in between. I let my blood sugar come down to normal, then have my cup of coffee. And that could be for other things too. But this test was about coffee and the food. So I think it was a beautiful experiment. And I'm having so much fun doing this. And it's so enjoyable to find these things out, you know. And by finding these things out, I'm able to keep I hadn't had a high spike like this in about 4 months, because I've been finding the food and really balancing really well. But this test, I never had done this before. So this one caught me off guard, but it was a beautiful learning experience. And you can learn this from many things. So hope it's helping. Hope it's fun. It's fun to me, because I enjoy doing it. I learned so much about my eating, and I hope it helps you a bit. And I appreciate you spending time looking at my videos. This one might be a little longish because it was a little longish, and I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. And just subscribe, and let me be able to spread this mess around, share with other people, and see how important it is to control diabetes. Too many people doesn't want to claim they have diabetes, but most of the sickness you have lead from diabetes. Diabetes is the biggest killer. And to avoid it, if you don't have it, eat so you don't get it. You know, eat healthy, eat good balanced combination, learn your food, when to eat what, when not to eat what, keep blood sugar down. And my pressure is beautiful since I've been controlling my blood sugar. I can't tell you the last time I had a bad blood pressure in 2 years. But when I wasn't controlling my blood sugar, my blood pressure would be going all over the place. Now it's well controlled. My acid reflux is well controlled. My pains are well controlled. No headaches. You know, it's beautiful. So, hope it helped. Thank you. I'm not going to talk anymore. I've been talking for a while here now. All right, blessings. Thank you. It's a great experience. Thanks my wife for being patient and taking my videos for me. Love you, baby. Thank you.